Hey, good morning, everyone. How's it going today? Coach Alvarez here, back at you with another episode, Coffee with Coach. Hope you're up making some moves, got the mind in the right place, but if not, let's go ahead and put it in the right place. So, again, normal routine, get up same time, do the same thing every day. Got my run in already, so I always feel a little bit better doing these after I get my run in versus before, just the endorphins, that whole thing. So, feeling accomplished, when I get that done prior to when I do these before. So anyways, like I said, I try to stick to something for a while before I move on to something else. And like I said, I was introduced to this this book or this author over the weekend. And so I don't have the book yet, but I did order it yesterday. Actually, I ordered 4 of the books, okay? I ordered 4 books. I'm waiting for those to come in. Those should be in next week. But since I don't really feel like waiting to for them to come in the mail, I'm listening to the author speak in some interviews, and there's some other guys out there kind of doing what I'm doing. I didn't know they were out there, but they're kind of doing like notes, study notes. So they're reading the book and they're kind of breaking down what they picked up from the book and stuff like that. So that's basically what I'm doing. I'm pretty much, that's what these episodes are about. Like, I'm reading something or I'm listening to something, and then I'm sharing it with you guys and my interpretation and stuff like that, how it pertains to me and maybe someone that I've talked to or whatever. So anyways, there's a lot of us out there that what I'm talking about, like living a double life. I was talking about that the other day. Resistance, just, knowing we need to get things done and we're not getting things done because of that resistance is in the way. And what I get a lot is, like, some people just don't want to make any moves, right? They're not ready to make any moves. They're not ready to improve, get better. They're not ready to put in that kind of work to where, they want to go forward. They're happy where they're at, okay? Now, what I got out of what I was listening this morning was, basically, if you're not going forward, even though your mindset is like, well, I don't want to do any of that extra stuff yet. I'm happy where I'm at. I'm content. I'm going to stay where I'm at. You can't stay where you're at because you're not growing. So you're going backwards. You think that because you're not doing anything, more or less, that you're going to stay the same, and it's not the way it works. So this guy gives an example. Say you have $1 million, right, in the bank. That $1 million doesn't stay $1 million if you don't keep adding to it or invest in it. So if you don't do anything with that money, you don't really have $1 million over time. Inflation will eat up your money. So if you don't invest your money, you don't do positive things with your money, either you're going to spend it, okay, on some probably nonsense kind of things, or just the inflation and the way things are going to just eat up your value, your money. So you're actually decreasing your $1 million over time if you're not doing anything with it, right? He gave another example of like health and fitness, right? So if you don't do any workouts, you don't do anything, you don't run, you don't eat right, you don't lift, your body is deteriorating as you get older. Every day we're getting closer and closer to that time where we no longer will be here. And if you just look at certain individuals that are older that don't work out, what happens? We shrink a little bit, the shoulders start to come forward, you look frail, your bones aren't the same. Slip and fall accidents with elderly people, they break their hips, they're whatever, because your body's just not the same. You're not doing anything with it to enhance it, to make it stronger. And it's just one of those things like where sometimes I just have a hard time. It's not a hard time, but there's just days where it's like, man, I've been working out for years, like since high school, okay? Since high school, I've been running and lifting weights. I mean, that's a long time, okay? You're talking, I'm 45 now, you're talking maybe, 14 years old probably when I started, something like that. I mean, that's a long time. And I'm thinking, man, yesterday I was working out and I'm like, man, my joints hurt, body hurts. And I'm like, this really isn't a lot of enjoyment in the lifting weights because I'm not really in pain from the actual lifts. I'm just in pain just from some of the joint pain that I have from so on and so forth, from training and everything else. But I kept telling myself yesterday, like, I just don't really have a choice, because if I don't work out, what's going to happen? I'm just going to get weaker. So I'm trying to maintain what I have and trying to increase a little by little, to get stronger. I know that I'm getting older. I can see and feel the difference from a couple years ago to compared to how I feel now. So it's a scary thing, because when you're young, you don't see or feel any of that difference. All right. As you get into, you're getting a little bit older. Like I said, I'm 45. I think it was like 42, something like that. I started to feel a difference. Started looking different as well. And so it's like, I really don't have a choice. There's no choice in the matter. It's either keep grinding or just go backwards, because there is no if I don't lift weights, I'm going to keep the muscle that I have. That's not the way it works. I'm going to lose it because I'm not doing anything with it. I do cardio all the time. My cardio is pretty good. I can train, do long rounds, stuff like that. But if I stop the cardio, what's going to happen? I'm not going to be able to do those long rounds. I'm not going to be able to breathe the same on the mat or just look the same. If I stop running and lifting weights and taking the vitamins that I take and everything else, I take these greens, I take this beet pop, man, I take all kinds of stuff, But if I stop taking it, I'm scared of what's going to happen to my body if I don't. So that fear makes me just keep on taking it, because I don't want to go backwards. I don't want to deteriorate. I already know as I'm getting older, my body's changing. So I'm trying to keep it stronger. And along with my finances and everything else, made some moves within the past year, and actually doing something, with my money and stuff like that, compared to just letting it sit there and then just letting inflation just eat it up, right? So doesn't matter how bad you kind of want to just not do anything and you think that you're going to just stay the same, you're not staying the same. So you have two choices: work a little harder, move forward, or just go backwards by doing absolutely nothing. The other thing that caught my attention was this guy talks about there's no retirement. Okay, so we all think, right? And I got this example over the weekend as well. We all think that we're going to get into our 60s, 65, whatever. We're going to retire from our jobs and then just go live on an island somewhere and go fishing the rest of our days, or whatever it is that you like to do. How long can you keep doing that? For me, going to the beach is cool, but just laying on the beach doing nothing gets old after a couple days. I want to do something else. It's very hard to, the example that he gave was, when you retire, there's statistics there that people that actually retire and don't do anything actually age faster. They're not stimulating their mind and their body like they were before, working on something every day. They just quit. They stopped. Versus the other people that retire, that keep moving, keep doing things, they don't age the same way as someone that just completely just stopped. So I already have in my mind, there is no retirement. Because like I said, when you get to 65 or whatever, or let's say I had the money right now to retire. I just have everything in place and I can retire right now. What am I going to do? Sit around and do nothing? No, I'm probably still going to run. I'm still going to work out. I'm still going to go train jiu-jitsu. Nothing's going to change. So I don't want to go backwards and just think that in my mind, when I get to a certain point, that's it. And that's basically what this guy was saying in this book and in these notes, is there is no end. There is no end. It's just always a constant thing of growing and moving forward, because the minute that you stop, you're going backwards, So for those individuals out there that just are content and happy where you are, don't think that you're going to stay where you're at and be content and happy forever, because you're actually going backwards, because there's no investment, there's no growth, there's no anything. So you're not actually going to just stay right where you're at. You're actually going to be somewhere in a lesser position as time goes on. That's a scary thing. That's a really scary thing. At least for me it is. So it motivates me to just deal with the monotony of he used some of the words they use, mundane and whatever else. It's just the same repetitive thing every single day, to just maintain where you're at, but then also try to go forward. So Those individuals out there that think you're not doing nothing and you're going to be all right in the next year or two, you're not going to be all right in the next year or two. You're actually going to be in a lesser place in the next year or two when your friends and their family members or whoever else is around you are making moves, are going into other places. And that's where a lot of saltiness comes in from, at least from my experience. People that I've dealt with or other people have dealt with just get salty because why? You're moving forward, the people around you are making moves, and you're not making any moves. You know, you can do the same thing other people are doing. You just got to take action and implement. And that's basically what these things are. So again, two choices. Okay, go backwards or go forward. There is no remaining the same. And that message just hit me pretty deep today. The $1 million thing was pretty good too, because it's like, you know, you think you have $1 million, but you know, if you don't do nothing with that $1 million in the next year, you know, inflation and everything is gonna eat that up. You know what I mean? So, and then the same thing with the health and fitness thing. Like, we just don't really have a choice. All right, like either work out, take care of yourself, eat the right foods, or just watch your body just deteriorate right in front of you in the mirror every day. And you're not going to be able to do the things that you were able to do because you didn't do anything. You remain the same. All right, so don't remain the same. Make some moves, get that mind rewired and reprogrammed into a different mindset to where you want to move forward. Make some moves. Make some moves today, not tomorrow. All right, guys, we'll catch you on the next one. We'll see you.